Alright, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm personally very grateful that Al Gore invented the internet, because there are a ton of great resources on the internet to help you diagnose and fix any kind of motorcycle problem. I'm going to show you a couple of the websites that I use pretty regularly to help out with my projects. The first, probably my go-to website, is actually bikebandit.com. It's a parts vendor website. They've got okay prices. If I'm going to buy something, I go to eBay first, actually. But it's a parts vendor website, and what they have are schematics for pretty much any motorcycle out there. And as you can see over here on this side of the screen, they've got lists of all the bikes that I've been searching for in the past couple of months. And so I just picked one at random, like a '87 Honda CBR 1000 Hurricane. And so you just click on it, or you can search for it up in the search bar up top. But they've got all these schematics. For example, let's say I wanted to see how the carburetors were put together. So I just click on carburetors, and here's a picture of the carburetor assembly. And you can blow it up, You can look at how all these things put together. If you're trying to describe a part to somebody online, like let's say somebody has a parts, like a donor parts carburetor, and you need a certain part, you go to here and you send them this link, and you're like, I need part number 14, and that's that there, and they can be like, oh yeah, alright, yeah, I know what you're talking about, 14, And so it's a really great website. There's all kinds of great information on it, and they'll sell you a part if you need it. So that's the first website that I go to. Another website that I use a lot is eBay. Obviously, I go here first to track down all kinds of parts that I would need, but also it's a source to help figure out things. Like, for example, here I've got here's an ad for carburetors for my bike, Suzuki Mandura GV1200. And let's say I'm trying to restore this bike, but I don't know what the original jets were. Like, somebody came in and messed with the jets, and I want to know what the original jets were. I can go here and I can send this person a question. I'll be like, hey, I'm interested in buying your carbs. What jets are you running in them? And they'll respond, oh, I'm running such and such jets. And then I know what jets I need to use. Yeah, that's not 100% honest, but it's a great resource for all kinds of different stuff like this. You can get pictures of stuff, You can just look up all kinds of things that people are selling, and it can help you determine what you have and what it should look like. So it's got all kinds of different parts, and it can really help you out if you're in a jam. If you aren't familiar with this website, you really should be. This is Dan's online motorcycle repair course, and it is www.dansmc.com/MC_repaircourse.hdm. And this guy basically put up something like I'm trying to do on YouTube, but he put it up in the form of a website, and he's got lots more stuff than I do on my YouTube channel. I mean, here, this is all getting started stuff and general stuff. Then you can talk about lubrication, fuel, where he talks about carbs and petcocks and all kinds of stuff, and two-strokes and electrical and engine, frame and specs and all kinds of stuff. If I ever need to brush up on something, or I need to learn about something, like when I was learning how to do fork seals, I came here first, and this guy does a really great job of breaking everything down. So, Dan's online motorcycle repair course. It's an awesome website. Another thing you can do is to go to the online forum for your bike, and pretty much every single motorcycle has its own forum. This is mine for my Mandura. It's kind of a small forum because there are only like 4,000 of these bikes ever made, but the guys on these forums are absolutely dedicated to talking about the bikes, to helping you figure out problems and all kinds of stuff. And I mean, there are, I don't know, a handful of people on this particular forum who make up for not having very many people in the forum. I mean, these guys are really, really good at helping you figure out just about any problem. A lot of times you'll find that vintage bikes have some of the biggest forums. Like, for example, if you have an old Suzuki, you can go on the gsresourceforums.com, and that's the gsresources.com, obviously. And this is an enormous website. I mean, they're so active. This is probably the biggest motorcycle forum out there, and it's for all these vintage GS bikes, like anything made pretty much after the Water Buffalo up until the Katana. Anything made in between those 2 years, or those 2 eras of Suzuki motorcycles, will be covered in here. And they also talk about other bikes too. So this is a really good one. If you don't have a Suzuki, another great website is the Honda Shadow website. And this is a really popular one too. This one's very active. What else? Which is another good one? Let me see. Oh, okay. Here, this is a really good one. The Single Overhead Cam 4 forums. This is for Hondas before like 1981, I think, or 1982. Really active forum with tons of members, and this is where you go if you need absolutely dedicated expert help, because I mean, these guys will go into painstaking steps to help you figure out your problem. And I go to all kinds of forums. You can see these are my bookmarks of forums, and I have all these forums that I go to if I have to figure out something wrong with the bike. Some forum members are kind of douchey. I mean, I don't mean to rag on these guys, but like, if you go to a forum that is for like newer sport bikes, every now and again, well, sometimes more often than not, you'll come across people who aren't really there to help you out with mechanical problems. They're just really there to brag or to be douches or whatever. And so sometimes you gotta put up with a little bit of hubris, but for the most part, these people on these forums, people who want to sit around and talk about bikes, are really awesome people. So I highly recommend that. Every now and again, you'll also run into these little pockets of really useful information on the internet. For example, this is on the NGK Sparkplugs website, and it is ngksparkplugs.com/apps/motorcycles. And this app here has all the spark plug gaps for every motorcycle ever made. So basically, I can go down here. Like, let's say I want to go to, I'm going to go to Suzuki. Press narrow, and you can search by engine. I'll search by engine 1200, and here's my bike right here. So I can look up the standard plug gap or the iridium plug. Look up the standard plug gap, and here it is, 0.028 thousandths of an inch. So maybe you guys can't necessarily see that, but this is a really good one for just, I mean, it's sponsored by NGK or whatever, but the information's out there. Use it, you know. I have this thing saved, and I use it for all kinds of stuff, even though I don't necessarily buy NGK spark plugs. So this is another really good one. If you buy a motorcycle that doesn't have a title and you don't really know very much about it, you can decode the VIN using a VIN decoder, and this one is motoverse.com/tools/VIN/Honda.asp, and this one's specifically for Hondas, but they have them out there for all different types of bikes. And you just type in the VIN number, and it tells you what year, what model, what size engine, all kinds of different stuff. So if you have a bike that's really far gone and you don't know very much about it, you can start piecing it back together, and this is a good place to start, because you know what model you have and what parts you should be buying for it. Website is moto-timeline.blogspot.com, and it is a timeline of all the motorcycles ever made, segmented by their companies. So I can just click on Japanese bikes here, and here we have dirt bikes, and then down here you have, for example, the Suzuki timeline. And this shows all the way back from 1965 up to 2009 all the bikes that were made, and when they were made, and also you can cross-reference like concurrent bikes, different bikes made in that year. This came in handy recently when I was trying to identify a RF600. I bought it thinking it was a GSXR 600, but I looked up in here, and you can see right here, RF600R was only made for like 3 years, and the GSXR 600 was not made in these years. So I bought this thing as a 1995 GSXR 600. Well, I looked it up, and it turns out, well, no wonder I can't find an air filter for a 95 GSXR 600, because there's no such thing. This bike is an RF 600. So that helped me figure out that problem, and I've used this website quite a bit to help figure out different types of things, because when you're buying and selling bikes, you know, once these bikes get to be 15, 20, 30 years old, a lot of their pedigree gets lost in the timeline of previous owners, so you don't know too much about them. That and a lot of bikes look pretty similar. So website like this is a great source for figuring out some of the previous owners' mysteries. And finally, I'm sure y'all have found YouTube before. This is a great source because A, it's got all of my videos on here. You can see these are all the videos that I've put up ever since my very first one about my cat. Yeah, there's a whole lot of really great videos up here. I mean, if you're not looking at one of my videos, there's tons of guys like me out there who are just trying to help out, you know, trying to make how-to videos or showing how they did it, or guys will put videos up like, hey, this is my bike and I've got these symptoms, you know, what do you guys think it is? And then people will put down in the comments what they think it is, and if your bike has the same symptoms, well, that's a great resource for you, you know. And you can just search around, you know, and you've got over on the right hand side of the screen that YouTube suggests other videos that you might be interested in once you're watching one video, and that's a really great source too, because YouTube is actually really good at linking two different topics together that you might not think of to search for, but happen to be relevant. Like, for example, if I was to click on my radiator leak website, here you got a couple of my different videos, but if you scroll down, here's one that's about fixing radiator leaks. And my video didn't go into how to fix radiator leaks, but here's one that does. So if you just play around with it, I mean, I'm sure you guys already know how to do it. If you guys play around with it, then you'll find a whole bunch of really great videos up here with a lot of great information. Also, YouTube is the way to get in contact with me, so if you guys have any questions or anything, you know, just send me a message and I'd be happy to give you my opinion on it. And like I said, there are tons of guys like me who want to do the same thing, who are, you know, just in it to help out. So YouTube, you know, these forums, all kinds of stuff, Bike Bandit, it's a really, really great resource. If you guys know of any other websites, feel free to post a link down into the comments of this video, and hopefully we can sort of make like a little database here, you know, for people to tap into if you you know, if you're searching for a good website, or you want some motorcycle brand specific information or whatever, you know, just leave it down there and we'll hopefully start compiling some information for everybody to use. Alright, well, y'all have a good one.